Hey, what's up? This is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel. Now, who's ready for some fighting words? In this video, I want to break down the press conference between Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol. Really quick, if you like the videos, please take the time, subscribe to the channel. It just takes one click. And if you could also, please hit the thumbs up button. It does help and it shows love and it supports this channel. So without further ado, let's talk about this. We have two Eastern Europeans who are as cold as ice. These guys don't smile. They don't do a whole lot of talking. Very little body language. Not much conversation unless asked, in which case you pretty much get one-word answers, and a whole lot of smirking and deflecting to the other guy, which is what we're going to get a lot of. There is something below the surface between these two, though. However, there is something below the surface. I don't know if you have to be Eastern European. I don't know if you need to be Russian, but there's something below the surface. I wish that's the only thing I can say between these two. There's something below the surface. I don't know if I'm assuming they've known of each other for quite some time. And I don't just mean, now that they're, the man right now, I mean, they've known boxing is not a very big community. So you could very well come across people long ago and then see them again and just always be conscious of them. It could simply be that. Or it could be a thing of we're kind of from the same place and we kind of know the same people, and it could be that as well. Could be we should have fought a long time ago. It could also be that. Only they know what's between them. And, when I said deflecting, because every time Artur Beterbiev is asked, hey, what's going on between you two? He just says, well, he knows. And then when you talk to Dmitry Bivol, he's like, I don't know nothing. Like, I don't know what this man is talking about. We don't have conversations. We've never had a conversation. We don't have history. We don't have a relationship from the past or anything like that. So I don't know what this man is talking about. One thing I wish would have happened in the press conference is that they spoke in their native tongues. And they just simply had interpreters there. Because if they would have spoken in their native tongues, I believe it would have been a lot more entertaining, and I believe a lot more would have been revealed in terms of what's between these two. But because, they're limited with their language and, their word usage, I think it limits the press conference, and I think it limits what's there. There's clearly something there. There's a tension there. It's clearly there, and it has been there for some time. I've seen these two together side by side, or at least in the same room, but before, and the tension is clearly there, and it comes off on screen. So the tension is clearly there, yet neither one of them have the skills maybe to articulate how they feel or what's between them. And if they were said in their own language, I think not only would we have gotten a ton more of conversation, I think we would have got a ton more of reason between the two. That's what I'm saying. Let's see. So the message, Artur Beterbiev refers to it as a message. What's the message to Dmitry Bivol? And he goes, well, he knows. And Dmitry's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know nothing. You got to understand, Dmitry Bivol's had 300 fights. I get it. Artur Beterbiev hits hard. I get it. They hit hard. But at the same time, pretty much everybody from his country hits hard. So, what does that mean? If I've had 300 fights, you can better believe at least out of the 300, I'm probably going to easily say at least 100 of them hit hard. And I'm pretty sure it's more, but at least 100 people hit hard. So it's not like he's something that he's never come across and he's some power puncher that I just don't know how to deal with. In which case Dmitry Bivol's like, yeah, okay, I've seen this before. I'm not out of my realm or out of my territory or anything of that nature. So I think people are expecting him to be rattled or shocked that he's fighting Artur Beterbiev, but dude has got 300 fights. Why would he be shocked or worried or rattled or anything like that? Let's see. Where am I going with this? So this little message thing, I personally think that the beef between them is Artur Beterbiev has wanted this fight for quite some time. And then I think he thinks that Dmitry Bivol was trying to stall him out. Meaning well, you're 39 years old. So all I have to do is just hold off another year or two. Maybe you'll retire, or maybe you'll just, fall off your throne, on your own. And maybe overnight you'll get old. I believe that's what he's referring to, Artur Beterbiev, when he's got this thing for Dmitry Bivol. I believe it's that. There could be something deeper below the surface, but I believe it's that. I believe it's the fact that he feels like there was an attempt to stall him out. Like, oh, he'll leave next year. Okay, he'll leave next year. Okay, he'll leave next year. And that kind of a thing. And he's still here. He's 39 years old, 39 years young. I think he looks amazing. And that's tribute to, he lives the fighting lifestyle. If you live the lifestyle, if you eat right, how did Bernard Hopkins last so long in the boxing game? If you know anything about Bernard Hopkins, he doesn't drink soda, he doesn't drink alcohol, he doesn't stay up late, he doesn't party, he doesn't sleep around, he doesn't go to clubs, he doesn't eat meat, he doesn't do any of that stuff. He doesn't eat French fries, he won't eat a pizza, he doesn't do any of that stuff. And that's how he's maintained his level throughout the years. And that's the reason why he can do that. And when you look at Artur Beterbiev, he's the same way. He lives this. It's one thing to hit the bags and be consistent with going to the gym and hitting bags. But Artur Beterbiev is also consistent with his strength and conditioning. The part that you actually don't have to do until you actually sign the contract for an actual fight. He does that part as well. He also eats properly. When you do these things off season, or not off season, but when there's nothing contractually there for you to do and you're still doing these things, yeah, you can maintain a lot longer. You're just living the lifestyle. That's all it is. You have these guys who fall off. You look at an Adrian Broner. He fell off rather early. Why? Because you're going to clubs. Why? Because you're drinking, you're smoking, you're hanging out late, you're going to all these parties, and he got bigger and bigger and bigger. And if you live like that, yeah, it's gonna catch up to you. When you look at the second fight with Roberto Duran and Sugar Ray Leonard, the reason why Sugar Ray Leonard wanted the rematch so fast is because he knew that Roberto Duran had this nasty little habit of he likes to celebrate, but he liked to celebrate extra long, meaning he would just celebrate from sun up to sundown after a fight, and he would balloon. So he's like, all right, well, he's gonna get crazy messed up, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go back to the gym. Then we're gonna have this fast turnaround. He's gonna have to blow off all that weight and then come back and fight me, because he's going to spend the majority of his time trying to cut off that weight and not really training. The majority of his training is going to be running. So that's the turnaround, and that's exactly what he did. And he flat out mentioned that was my strategy. He was a great strategist, and sure enough, it worked properly. I mean, he did other things in the course of the fight, but that was one of the major strategies to make him lose the weight, to make him just ride high with the victory, and then now you got to lose your weight. Simple as that. Well, it's not going to happen with an Artur Beterbiev. He lives a lifestyle. But shout out to Dmitry Bivol, because he lives it as well. And I also think I want to credit that to where they're from as well. It's a hard place to live, but it's a very structured place. And structure is not a bad thing. Structure keeps you in line. Structure gives you a reason. Structure it outlines things for you. Structure can give you a goal. And with structure and proper structuring, you can attain those goals. And look, he's 39 years young, and he's still rocking and rolling. Got to give it to him. Let's see. He could possibly have 3 to 5 more years, honestly, on top. He could. He hits that hard. Listen, when you hit as hard as Artur Beterbiev, you could stick around a long time, because not a whole lot of people can stand in front of you, whether you're young or old. Doesn't really matter. And power is the last thing to go, if it, in fact, does go. Let's see. Where do I want to go with this? Let's see. Here's the thing. There's not a whole lot of a tell between these two, because, like I said, they don't talk. They don't really respond to much. They have these side smirks and everything like that, so you don't really know what's going on with them. But I think that's a tell in itself. You've seen Dmitry Bivol kind of laughing. He's like, I don't know what the message is. That was the first sign where they both kind of cracked up together. And I've never seen Artur Beterbiev as jolly as I saw him in this press conference. which could be a tell in itself that maybe, you're feeling the hype. I don't know. But I've never seen him as jolly. But it could be you're feeling the hype. But it could also simply be, I finally got the fight that I've been asking for years. Could simply be that. When you look at Dmitry Bivol, it could be the same thing. He's not the biggest talker in the world, but he's never been one to shy away from saying what he wants to say or what he has on his mind. If you remember with Canelo Alvarez, he was like, why is everybody acting like this man is invincible? And he said that. He's like, he's not invincible. He's just a man. And he proved it. And I think when you look at it in that terms, he's absolutely right. And Dmitry Bivol also said, since, Artur Beterbiev wasn't saying a whole lot, but Dmitry Bivol also said, guys like this make me get up and run in the morning. So he's going to bring the best out of me. I like challenges. And this guy's the biggest challenge to date. I like challenges. And I do think, and I'm going to say something now. I'm going to say this now. I said in the fight with Canelo Alvarez, Dmitry Bivol could have easily gone up 2 more levels. I don't think he was being a 10 to beat Canelo Alvarez. I think he was at like an 8, a 7.5 to beat Canelo Alvarez, quite frankly. The reason why I'm saying that is because we have seen I've seen with Dmitry Bivol, there's levels. And I think he has more gears to go. Yeah, Artur Beterbiev does have the power. But Artur Beterbiev has been down before, and it's different. So he's not in perfect. Listen, he hits really hard, but he's also susceptible to getting knocked down as well. When you look at Dmitry Bivol, I truly believe there's at least 2 more levels to that building of Dmitry Bivol, where nobody's actually had to go. Nobody's been up to the top floor. That's what I think. I think there's 2 more gears that he could easily hit. And I don't think Canelo was the guy, and I said Canelo wasn't the guy, and I was right. Canelo was not the guy to bring him to the top floor, was not the guy to test his top level. I do think Artur Beterbiev is definitely the guy to test his top level. But guess what? We don't know what's at the top level. We don't know if it's a straight-up dog. We don't know if it's a superior masterclass boxer up there. We don't know. We don't know. Some people, when they're mad or they're pushed to the brink, there's a vicious, savage warrior in that upper room. And then some people, they just turn into these masterclass boxers. You look at Floyd Mayweather, it just depends on his opponent. And I think Dmitry Bivol is the same way. I think it depends on his opponent. Why am I putting so much spotlight on Dmitry Bivol? Because I feel like everybody at the press conference was putting a whole lot more spotlight on Artur Beterbiev. I get it. He hits hard. I get it. But if you think that's going to be the thing that, scares Dmitry Bivol, again, he's got like 300-something fights. He's not afraid of that. That does not scare him, does not rattle him. Where they're from, people do not get rattled. Trust me. I know a lot of people from that part of the world. And let me tell you, that's not just those 2. They're not rattled at all. Neither one of these guys are scared. And typically you can see like a tail in somebody. Neither one of these guys are scared.